How are you feeling about the show tonight?
So, it's funny. The first time I did it in Portuguese, I felt the most nervous I've been probably in my entire life to do something public. Now I still feel the nerves, right? But it's one of those things where now I'm training the nervousness to be more like excitement. Because it is excitement, right? And we're just going to see what happens. It's just one of those things where you can prepare as much as you want. But at the end of the day, it's just you and your intuition because you are the one in the arena when you're performing. So I'm freaking excited, to be honest.
And how long are you preparing for this?
So I got to Buenos Aires less than about 2 months ago. Started learning Spanish to performance level. Wrote this script. Booked this show. Talked to the people I needed to talk to. And now we're about to do it.
And what are your expectations going into it?
I don't really have a lot of expectations other than that people's minds will be changed of what's possible, which is a guarantee with what the script has going on. So I think either way, in a sense, I've won, you've won, everyone who's watching the show, everyone's won.
And what do you mean that why are people's minds going to change?
Because hypnosis, at the end of the day, it teaches you that, it's one thing to read about the idea that your mind can be in this conscious and the subconscious, and you can do all sorts of crazy things with your mind. It's one thing to read about that in a textbook, right? Read numbers and all this. It's another thing to actually experience hypnosis. And so I think people experiencing hypnosis, what's going to happen? They're going to go home to their friends and family and say, I watched a damn good hypnosis show, and now I believe in hypnosis. That's what's going to happen.
And do you think this is going to change anyone's perspective on hypnosis?
I think so, 100%. Hypnosis has this perception in a lot of cultures that it's this thing like mind control and it's only used for bad things. But at the end of the day, it's really just a collaborative game of let me, the hypnotist, do all the work and show you what a cool experience can look like, what a funny experience can look like. And at the end of the day, I'm bringing memories to other people. I'm going to give them a good time and they'll have something to go back home and talk about.
And why did you want to do the show?
So I'm doing a tour around the world where I hypnotize people in 5 shows, 5 languages, in 5 countries. So I did a show in Brazil in Portuguese 2 months ago, and then now we're at this show doing it in Spanish. We'll also do it in French in France, Chinese in China, and then I'll go back home to my home country, the United States, and do a show in English. I'm mainly doing this because I believe that with hypnosis, you can learn languages fast. You can acclimate yourself to new environments, talk to people, make things happen, like this show. I knew no one in the city when I first arrived in Buenos Aires 2 months ago, and it extends beyond the show. I feel like I've built a community here. I built a life here in many senses, and I think at the end of the day, it's all about learning and expanding yourself and how you move in the world. And so this hypnosis show is only an extension of that, to be honest.
And why do you think it's important to do hypnosis around the world, like in different languages? Like, what's the aspiration in that?
So I believe that I was very, very privileged to be born in the United States of America. What does that mean? That means I'm born with the economic opportunity, but also that I speak English as a native language. If you look at a lot of information of the cutting edge of research, of hypnosis, for example, a lot of fields, a lot of that only exists in English. A lot of entertainment exists in English. And so as a result, there's an inherent privilege that I have speaking that as a native language, and to be able to share hypnosis, share the idea that you can change your mind, that you can experience all these cool things, to be able to share that in new languages with people in new countries. I think that's the most American thing that I can do, which is making sure it's a more equal playing field and that everyone has access to the same information.
And what was the catalyst of doing it in Argentina specifically?
I chose Argentina to do my Spanish show because, 1, I've never been to Argentina. 2, I've been to most of the other Latin American countries. And 3, Argentina is kind of this place where you meet people around the world and they say they're from Argentina and they're very proud to be Argentinian. And you just have that itch in your brain. You're like, why are these Argentinians, why are they so proud to be where they're from? And I just felt like I had to investigate that and I had to come here. And I can confidently say, after 2 months, I can see why Argentinians are so proud to be from here. It's a way of life, it's a rhythm, it's in their food, it's just how they talk to friends and hang out. They know how to hang out here, which I think is very important. So it's nice to be able to learn from them here.
They do know how to hang out here.
Yeah, they do.
They hang hard here. And
they hang hard and they also hang very late, which personally I'm not a very big fan of, but you do your best to acclimate, right?
Yeah, exactly. How has Argentina, Buenos Aires, how was it? Has it equaled your expectations? Has it changed your expectations? Has it, like, what are your thoughts on Argentina?
I think so. How Argentina has changed my expectations. The cool part about going to a country by yourself when you are 24 years old is one thing is you're discovering a new culture, discovering a new language, right? But you're also at this critical moment of your life where you're discovering yourself and what you really care about. And so exploring both the external and the internal at the same time in this very exciting period of my life has been the pleasure of my lifetime, honestly. So I'm just very happy to be able to explore myself through Argentina and then explore Argentina through myself, right?
Cool. Anything else that you want to add?
I guess the one thing that I really want to emphasize is your life can change. If you really, really want and you're really willing to pay the price, you can change absolutely anything in your life. That is why I'm doing hypnosis shows. That's why I'm a hypnotist, because that is my goal. A lot of people, and I've lived in many different timelines in my life. I grew up in Oklahoma. I went to an Ivy League school. I traveled around the world. I've been in many different contexts around the world, and I've seen the wavelengths that people live in. And the thing is, when you see all these different wavelengths and you realize that people have a choice whether to live in this wavelength or this wavelength, so much of the world just opens up to you, and knowledge of what is absolutely possible opens up to you. And I truly believe is my goal to spread that possibility to others.
And how is that, like, when you say you have the chance to change your life if you really want to, have you experienced that before?
I have experienced it because of situations that, mostly because of situations of me moving places, right? I grew up in Oklahoma, very, honestly, white area, people don't travel outside of Oklahoma, right? And then I get to an Ivy League school, which is where everyone's, like, all around the world and all this. So I've just seen these changes in my environment because of my different life choices. And I've just come to realize you really can change whatever the hell you want. It's all up to you. It doesn't have to be this overlying force that controls everything. Your life is up to you.
And your final words going into this, what do you hope you take away from this experience?
My biggest takeaway from this experience, I've already won. Doesn't matter if the show goes well, doesn't matter if the show goes crap. I put myself on stage in front of a bunch of people, some I know, some I don't know, and I performed in my 5th language, in hypnosis of all things. So I think I've already won nevertheless. Anything else that happens, any laughs that happen, anyone that gets hypnotized, just little frosting to add to the cake, I guess. This thing called hypnosis that you guys might be very familiar with. Como así, y así, y así. I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and when I do reach 5, everyone right here is going to wake up absolutely refreshed, just like it's early in the morning. 5, fully alert, fully back with us. Everyone take a massive deep breath in, just taking all the good positive energy. One photo for every show in every country. So we just finished my 2nd show of my world tour. in Spanish. We did the hypnosis show in Spanish. It's one thing when you do it once, and then the second time you're like, that wasn't a fluke. And so I feel over the moon right now. I feel over the moon.
What was the best part of the show for you?
The best part of the show, and this was true for the last show too, it wasn't when I did any of the crazy things. It wasn't when I said, oh, you're a chicken. It wasn't when I said you're ChatGPT. It was the last part. It was the good energy affirmation. Because I think that's the message I like to leave people with, right? That you can use the state of your mind for the good of your life and for the world, right? And so that, it almost made me emotional, right? Just saying that, because I think that's, saying those words is something that a lot of people need to hear in today's society, so.
Nice. And exceed expectations, meet expectations, what do you think?
My expectations, you know, it's funny, I had no expectations. I'm just glad that it's over. I'm glad that it's over, yeah.
And
I also appreciate the grind it took. I appreciate the Spanish I learned. I appreciate the uncomfortable pauses I had to go through, right? So I still appreciate, it's not like, oh God, I'm so glad it's over. I'm glad it's over, but I'm also very grateful for what came before that, right?
And what are you looking forward to the next show?
So I'll actually be here next Saturday again at 8 p.m. Paseo La Plaza, Sala Cortázar, because I talked to the owner and he was like, you know what, we'd love to have you back for another show. So I guess I'm doing it again. I guess we're running it back next Saturday. So if you missed it this time, I forgive you. Just come next Saturday and you will have the blast of your life.
Awesome. And anything else you want to add?
Hope for the world. That's all I have. Thank you.